Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program. This is Global Morning on Global Television. I am Uyi Agmofugbe, and with a super delight, I say welcome to the program.
Good morning, Uyi.
Good morning, Ramsey.
Well, here it is Thursday already. This week seems to be running very fast.
Right.
Do you notice that? I don't know. You may not. Did you notice that this week is a
So
little
I had that
fast?
conversation with a colleague in the course of this week. I think that was on Monday or Tuesday, of how that every other day is so fast. In fact, we were even talking about the interesting shorter day, longer night phenomenon and all of that. But again, I think, maybe it's the smell of Christmas and
I think so.
all of the
You're
issues
thinking
around
the
the
same
end of
thing
year.
that I'm thinking.
Right. And I had that feel this morning on my way to work.
Yes, I think the atmosphere, I don't know, when December is coming very close, the atmosphere, everything responds to the season.
Right.
You know, so this morning it was so beautiful while I stepped out, and it's all pointing to the fact of that the year is running to an end. As a matter of fact, we're excited to have you join us on Global Morning today. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
All right, so we begin to talk this morning about issues that are developing in our country. Of course, the media has time and again been referred to as the watchdog of society, the fourth estate of the realm, and on account of this, so much of work has been put on its shoulders. As a matter of fact, when it comes to shaping public opinion and setting the agenda, especially for those who have been saddled with responsibility to provide leadership, either as appointees or those who have been elected into public offices, the media is always expected to show that, if you like, take initiative, all right, to help point public officers and officials in the right direction in light of the Constitution and the social contract. So it wasn't a surprise yesterday when President Bola Tinubu, I would say, hosted the Nigerian Guild of Editors. I mean, some of the finest and the top brass of this very prestigious industry at the presidency, where he talked about several things. First of all, commending these professionals for the work that they do, all right, making them understand that whatever it is they are doing does not go unappreciated. However, the president also said that their reporting must be guided by the principles of fact-checking, of integrity, and ensuring that even where government is criticized, it is done with altruism and, of course, based on facts and probity. But then again, there's also the challenge that is on the side of the government and those who are politically exposed, which is the fact that, according to the Nigerian Guild of Editors boss, Anamba, the government must ensure that democracy is not such that the media is stifled. So if we say we are in a democratic rule or a democratic system, the media as an entity, as a space in itself that even drives good governance, cannot be stifled. And we hope that President Bola Tinubu and indeed all of those in government from top to bottom also understand that, especially in this era where you have more of narrative peddling than the truth, than facts. So if I want somebody to believe that Ramsey is not at work today, all I have to do is go to social media or use any medium available and continue to push that narrative until I'm able to convince those who are gullible enough, those who are naive enough, that Ramsey was not at work today. Whereas nobody is taking the time, taking the pain, going the whole hog to find out, is it true that Ramsey was not at work? What are the facts as to whether or not Ramsey was at work? So what we have these days is pretty much of narrative peddling. And again, like Priscilla and I were talking about the other time, is the reason you keep hearing this term, my truth. I've spoken my truth. That's her truth. That's their truth. There's no such thing as your truth. It's got to be the truth or nothing else.
Or nothing else.
Right.
Truth everywhere is truth anywhere. Truth somewhere is truth everywhere.
Right.
I think it's commendable, okay, that the president is identifying with editors. I saw that conference and I was excited about it. I was going through some of the outcome of the conference, and exactly what you said. The president, I think, has done well, okay, to first of all identify the fact that the roles of these editors cannot be overemphasized, especially in a democratic setting where everything is equal, where everything is working out fine, the media is supposed to be the best friend of people in governance, where everything is straight. Because whatever, it's just like you said, the media is the watchword, the watchdog between the government and the people. We are more like the bridge. When I hear of journalists being arrested, being detained, and all of that, I feel pain. Why? Because I feel it's as if the government or whoever that is responsible for such acts does not know the essence of communication. What if you're doing the right thing? You would want everyone to know that you are doing the right thing. And how do you get these things across to the public, to the people that you are serving? It's through the media. When you begin to see the media as an enemy, then something is wrong. It means there is something to hide. You know, I think majority of the problems that we have today is the issue of fact checking, fact finding, because we have a lot of people, especially in the era of social media, we have a lot of people who are parading themselves as journalists today who are not trained, but because they have 1, 2, 3 naira to get a blog, to pay a web designer to design a website, news website for them, they go there and put out all forms of junks. And if you're not careful enough, you generalize, okay, that even people who are doing the fact checking, fact finding, and people who are balancing and their news and being fair, okay, you would just want to categorize everybody as being the same. So it is good that the president is identifying with the editors, and henceforth, I think this is about the first time I am hearing of this kind of conference happening right, okay, at the corridor of power. I think we'll keep our fingers crossed to see how this relationship will go, and of course the outcome of it. But I tell you the truth, if the people in governance, from the presidency to the least person, would want to maintain a good relationship with the media, the journalists, the editors, it's going to be a smooth sail. And of course, I tell you, this administration will not regret it.
Right, of course. So government has to play its part. Those in political offices must do their own parts by ensuring that they put the facts out there. Like Ramses said, if you're doing the right thing, if you're serving the people that you say you're serving, that elected you to serve them, or those you've been appointed to serve, the media should be your friend. It should be such that, in fact, you want to put out every initiative, every program out there, knowing that they are all geared towards impacting the lives of the people that you serve in ways that are remarkably positive. Let's take a quick break. When we return, so much more to talk about, but first we'll bring you motivation. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
If you want to grow, there needs to be preparation for times of discomfort. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and today I want to let you know that success is achievable. You can do it. All right? The times are changing. So many things are happening. But you need to know that comfort is the enemy of growth. That's it. That's what we want to look at today. The truth is this: everyone wants comfort, but then there is an amount of work that you need to put into yourself, into whatever it is that you feel you need to be comfortable. Therefore, comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to grow, you need to welcome some level of discomfort. If you don't want to grow, just sit in one place and be in the euphoria of comfort, as the case may be. Now, if it doesn't challenge you, it cannot change you. That's the truth. If it doesn't challenge you, it does not have the capacity to change you. Whatever does not challenge you does not have the capacity to change you. And that's the reason most times you see people who are being challenged, all right, by a particular circumstance. They say, wow, look at this young man. Look at what this young man is doing. Look at what this young lady is doing. Wow, I'm being challenged. I can do it. I can do it. Whatever that does not challenge you cannot change you. Because if you're being challenged by a particular thing, there is a level of effort you put into turning that thing to your advantage. Comfort feels good, yeah? It's safe, yeah? Familiar and easy. But there is a truth that we need to know, that comfort is a cage dressed like luxury. That's what comfort is. That is the definition of comfort. It is a cage that is dressed like luxury. It is not luxury. It's just being dressed like luxury. It is not luxury. That thing you're calling comfort today, that comfort zone that you don't want to get out of, it's a cage. It's not luxury. It's not. This is one thing that we need to know. Every successful man have gone through thick and thin. Everyone you see comfortable today, they had times when they were drinking garri. Some never even had the garri to drink. So what we're looking at as comfort today is merely a cage that has strapped you down, dressed like a luxury. It's not luxury. You can remain in that thing you call comfort, and before you know, you are 30 years. Before you know, you are 40. And you can no longer achieve the things you would have achieved that period that you felt you were in comfort. That thing is just cage. It's a cage. You need to break out of it. You need to allow yourself come out of it. This is a personal decision. Sometimes you don't even need people. In fact, this is the truth. That thing that you think is comfort, that thing you think is luxury, all right? If anyone even want to talk you out of it, you look at them as, oh, enemy of progress. You want me to go and suffer. You want me to go and suffer. No, my daddy, I'm in my daddy's house. And let me enjoy. Let me do this. No. You need to learn. And parents also need to hear this. You're not doing your children good. You think you're pampering them. You think it is comfort, but you are caging them. What if you're not there? We've had situations whereby a man died very rich, a woman died very rich, leave a lot of wealth, right, for the children. But the children couldn't manage it because they don't know the source of this wealth. They don't know how this wealth was gotten. So there was no continuity because these children were caged in what they call comfort, in luxury. I'm trying to make us know that the truth is always the truth. You need to challenge yourself. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to grow, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it's not easy. The amount of time you put into a particular thing will determine the amount of result you will get out of that very particular thing. Every time you choose comfort, you postpone your growth. That's the truth. Every time you choose comfort, you postpone. See, that minute, time doesn't wait for anyone. That's the truth. Time doesn't wait for you. Time doesn't wait for anyone. That 1 minute you spent in your comfort zone is a limitation to your growth. If you were out there trying to see how you can get to the other level, you will grow. Every time you choose a challenge, you stretch your potential. Look at the seed. I don't know. I just feel like using the seed as an example. It must break to grow. It must get rotten in the ground. Even the Bible said it. It said, except the seed fall to the ground and die, it remained alone. It remained alone. But when it gets to the soil, it's been beaten by the sun, then the rain will come on it, then it will germinate. First of all, it gets rotten in the soil. It gets heated by the sun in the soil before it grows. Then one day, they call it a harvest period. That same seed germinates, grew, brought up fruit, brought up tubers of yam, in fact, there are so many things we need to do so that we can grow, as a matter of fact. Let me tell you, let's say for instance, a butterfly must struggle out of its cocoon to fly. And you must also step into discomfort to become who you were born to be. When some people have a lot of testimony, a lot of things to say, maybe when it got started, the story was very, very tedious. But I want you to know that you can get out of it and you forget about the story. When the glory comes, you forget the story. But for every glory, there is a story. You don't need to forget about that. So that story must be there, all right, to make the glory valuable. So get out of that thing you're calling comfort zone. The growth zone is always outside your comfort zone. Discomfort is a sign that something inside you is expanding. That comfort. Do you know that some people learn, all right? Some people learn from their experience. If it is a bad experience, you can learn from it. If it is a good experience, you can learn from it. So I want you to know today that discomfort is a sign that something inside of you is about expanding. So take advantage of that time. Growth requires growth, like they say, requires stretching mentality, emotionally, spiritually, so that the next time you feel nervous, afraid, or uncertain, don't run from it. All right? Don't run from it. Don't run from those challenges. Some challenges are meant to make you and not to mar you. Lead on. That's where your transformation begins. And as a matter of fact, choose challenges over comfort today, because the pain of discipline weighs on this, all right? The weight of discipline. Some people, when they are being disciplined, they say, they hate me. They hate me. But that discipline is to make you, except if it is out of some form of bad intention. But God sees every intention. No one wants to punish you because of any negative intention. But the pain of regret waits turns. Step out, grow, and become the version of yourself that comfort could never create, but challenges created them. Congratulations. I am going to be seeing you at the other side of success. We will all get there, but then get out of your comfort zone. Face the challenges. Take the discipline. Take the correction. No one have the monopoly of knowledge. All of us are work in progress, heading for a destination, and that's where success and growth meets, and of course, that makes a champion. Thank you very much. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Many thanks for watching this episode.
Right, time now to take a look at the papers for you. We begin with our first this morning, and that happens to be the Daily Trust newspaper with, well, let's call them a handful of headlines. Just beneath the nameplate here, top left, it says government drops mother tongue policy. Before now you had parts of the country where mother tongue was used as, or has been used as a mode of instruction or language of instruction. But the federal government is saying now that the flat out and only option is English. All right, so Ramsey cannot speak his language in Benue State, Huyi cannot speak his language in Edo State. If they need to teach, it has to be English. That's the point now. So I think we are even.
Yeah, when you said couldn't speak, I say, so who's going to be monitoring me to my house when I'm with my siblings back at home? Or maybe you go to your community and you have some very elderly people that are not schooled, that couldn't speak.
So how do you communicate?
How do you communicate? But it's so good that it's all about the school setting, teaching. One of the things that I've ever frowned at is the issue of teaching. You go to some interior Yoruba land, interior Idoma land, interior Igbira land, you see people teaching, especially children in primary school, teaching them in their local dialect. I don't know what that means.
What the goal is.
What the goal is.
Right.
And this thing go a long way affecting these children as they grow, because the foundation is the most important. Whatever you learn at that tender age sticks. I can still remember some of the things I learned in primary school back in the years. So I think the federal government is not out of place saying that. I think it will go a long way, polish our pupils better.
Great. All right, let's move on with the headlines from the Daily Trust's newspaper still now. It says World Cup, that's a kicker. Eagles battle Gabon in, let's see that for you, crucial playoff today. World Cup, Eagles battle Gabon in crucial playoff today.
The spirit is low.
Are you okay? Don't tell me you're still reacting to the way the players have been treated.
Yeah, the spirit is low. They may not tell you, but the spirit is low. You know what it means for a match of that caliber to be tomorrow, then you're striking today. The spirit is low. Irrespective of what the players are saying, irrespective of the comments.
And the reassurances.
And the things we should know as leaders, it's either you take it or you leave it. So there are no two ways about it.
You see,
this is punishment for Nigeria.
It is, not just for the players.
Not just for
not just about this, not just about this engagement.
Nigerians are see, you need to know how much people put out. Okay, for foreign leagues. EPL, La Liga, Italian Serie A, you need to see how much people put out. If those investments are coming into our own leagues, it will be a great thing. But they've made these sporting activities in the country non-juicy. It's not attractive. It's not entertaining. Sport is entertainment.
Right, it is, of course.
So,
it's such a shame. And like you said, you all have a background in the business world. When you come into an organization, all right, whether public or private, the assets and liabilities automatically become yours. All right, because let's face it, you come into an organization or an agency. That agency is owed, let's say, 6 billion naira. Are you saying you are going to let go of it? After all, you were not the one in office when that transaction was carried out.
That one that is yours, will you let go
are you going to let go of it? Or are you going to come and sweep out all the members of staff, do away with all the documents and say, well, I was not here when these documents were generated. Therefore, I have no need of them. I want to start afresh. However, when it comes to taking responsibility, and you see people who are supposed to be leaders saying, I was not here when you guys did that. I was not the one that was heading this Nigerian Football Federation when you guys went into that transaction. But you've forgotten that it is the same Super Eagles we have had for several decades in this country. But again, that's an absolute failure of leadership.
It's an absolute failure, like you said.
Can't take it away. But let's go ahead now and talk about a few other things with regards to headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. One here says, criticize us fairly, Tinubu tells media. And then we have the Star headline here. It tells us, despite Tinubu's pledge, federal government takes fresh 1.15 trillion naira loan. it appears that this borrowing spree is not going to end anytime soon. But what more can we say? It's quite a perplexing experience that we're dealing with. But as I say, it is what it is now. I lost 120 million naira goods cash to market fire. That's a trader there reacting. Quite a pathetic development. Those pictures don't look good, evidently. RHIS Holding Limited Chairman Sam Darwish credits Nigeria for strong Q3 2025 earnings. That's a way of saying that third quarter earnings were pretty impressive. Well, read up those headlines and their details from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Next move is the Vanguard newspaper. All right, I think I'm just going to go straight to that as well. But again, we begin with the ones above the nameplates. Topmost there says, inadequate gas throws geometric power into first blackout in 60 days. All right, that's on page 19 for you. Wike, no officer or soldier on lawful duty will be punished. Defense Minister, well, that message is clear. We don't need to look for someone to help us decipher it. Presidency clarifies Trump's threat not behind NGX sell-offs. That will require a lot of explanation, really. Because once America sneezes around things like this, the entire world catches cold. So there is a direct correlation between these sell-offs at the NGX and the threat by US President Donald Trump. PDP, court extends order permitting national convention till Friday. Right? Tinubu backs NGE's proposal for media tax relief, VAT exemption. That's talking about the Nigerian Guild of Editors event where the president himself, alongside 4 other governors and senior practitioners in the industry, took out time to discuss heart-to-heart yesterday. That headline has a number of riders with it. Says irresponsible reporting undermines democratic stability, asks editors to criticize but not damage Nigeria. There won't be electoral integrity without democracy, Uzodimma, as NGE seeks tax relief, lower interest loans to rescue distressed media sector. 2026 FIFA World Cup playoffs, Super Eagles under pressure on the third on pages 6 and 7, just like Ramsey mentioned. Anniversary, Okpebolo hails Edo's rebirth, reels out achievements. Right of way crisis, telco sees operating costs soar to 5.8 trillion naira. That's credited to the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. UN names Nigeria, Mali among 16 hunger crisis hotspots. This headline actually broke yesterday and was quite pathetic. Oba Egbena announces Lekki platform to challenge global content dominance. That was actually part of the speech delivered by Chief Unduka Oba Egbena, the proprietor of Arise News Channel and This Day newspaper yesterday, while the ongoing NGE event held. All right. Well, read up details from the Vanguard newspaper to this issue. Let's now turn to the Daily Sun newspaper.
All right, let's quickly look at the Daily Sun newspaper this morning and see the headlines that we have on the Daily Sun. And of course, I would like to begin with the big story on the Daily Sun. The big story on the Daily Sun this morning says, at NGE annual conference, Tinubu to Nigerians, all right, we must join hands to defend democracy. That is the president speaking there. Then we have some riders to that story. And of course, the first rider says, cautions media against undermining government. Editor seek government support. All right. And of course, this one is also saying, okay, editor seek government support, media tax relief, legal protection for journalists. Uzodinma sounds alarm on 51% media trust deficit, urges editors to defend electoral integrity. Obaigbena unveils new platform to rival US and China. That's beautiful. 2027 polls under threat over party infighting. Kalu warns. Senate dismisses reports of alleged plot to sack Akpabio. It was in the fall, but then, well, this is a disclaimer right here. Well, some people will tell you in every rumor there is an atom of truth. This is not the first time we're hearing about this impeachment move. I don't know. We've not had it like this, all right, in the 9th Senate. But I don't know why there is always story of impeachment, dismissal, and all of that against the Senate president in the media space. One writer to that story, and it says, approves bill to protect domestic workers from sexual abuse, unpaid labor, and others. This bill is a strong one. Right. This bill is going to go a long way, putting so many things straight. You know why? Because there are a lot of workers going through so much that cannot even speak out. And these employers will make you feel they're even helping you, even though they're exploiting you. You are putting in your best. They give you this perspective, all right, perception that they are helping you, and they take advantage of people, you know, to exploit Nigerians. If there is a bill to protect domestic workers, not just domestic workers alone, but all workers, and the labor law is upheld to the extent that a sexual abuse, unpaid labor, and others is handled in Nigeria, it will be a good one. Now to Edo State, almighty Edo State. Well, someone was praising the governor of Edo State yesterday on my show. Right. And I was like, well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Can we say it's too early, or he's doing the right thing? Well, congratulations to those of you in Edo State. But then on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper this morning, we have this headline which says, Governor Kwebolo hails Edo's rebirth, reels out achievements across key sector. That's exactly what we're saying just now. If you are doing the right thing, you will be a friend of the media because you want everyone to know what you are doing. That's right. Because it's more like a ticket. You don't even need to say you want to recontest. The people will say it is you we want. And it could be 2-term, or maybe that can even make the 3rd-term bid come to stay. When somebody say you are the one we want, it's election. You know, so even if they want you 3 times and you're doing the right thing, I think it's a good one. A PDP National Convention will hold as scheduled. National Working Committee is the one saying that, and organizing committee. Details you can find on page 27 of the Daily Sun. Kanu is the kicker. Court asks appeal court to stop November 20 judgment at trial court. Two writers to that story expresses fear of unlawful conviction. Groups protest in Abuja seeks global intervention to secure Kanu's release. Details you can find on the Daily Sun newspaper. Abuse of constitution, reason democracy fails. INEC is the one making that statement. One writer to that story. Fingers Nigerian president as main culprit. All right. Maybe you can pick a copy of the Daily Sun newspaper and go through that headline for better understanding. And these are the headlines on the Daily Sun newspaper this morning.
All right. Thank you, Ramsey. We'll take you now to the Nation newspaper. Well, the star headline here says to us, conflicting court orders on convention, PDP factions clash. The three writers tell us Damagun's, Ayau's factions give conflicting directives, judgments today in Lamido's suit. Ibadan court extends go-ahead order. All right, so let's move it up a little now. Stocks rally 2.6 trillion naira on capital gains taxes review plan. Controversy widens over Wike military officers clash on land. And then we'll also take a look at the three headlines above the nameplate. Top right corner first. Makinde has made Ibadan livable, says Obasanjo. President sends executive bill to create Cocoa Board on pages 5 and 6 respectively. Tinubu to editors, champion national unity, reports boldly. And then there is one here that has a picture of Edo State governor who has just marked, or maybe still marking, 1 year in office. All right, talking about Senator Monday Okpebholo. Okpebholo has performed, say, Yewada Oshomole, that's the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the governor's own party, and a former national chairman of the party, who is now a senator representing Edo North. All right. And then lastly, on the foot of the front page, Kanu asks appeal court to quash dismissal of his no case submission on page 3. Read up details from the Nation newspaper today. Ramsey has more headlines for us from the Punch newspaper.
All right, let's quickly turn to the Punch newspaper and see the headlines that we have. A couple of headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning, beginning from the top of the nameplate. The National Assembly approves Tinubu's 1.15 trillion naira domestic loan. Reps probe 20 trillion naira. All right, abandoned federal properties. My critics now praise me, says Obasanjo. All right, Baba is speaking. Bamidele Kalodiva on alleged plot to impeach Akpabio. Wike naval officer clash. That's the rider to the big story. Ex-generals fume as federal government orders probe. That's right. FCT Minister Yerima face-off sparks concern over civilian-military relations. Be fair, truthful in government criticism, Tinubu tells editors. Right, OPEC report shows Nigeria underproducing crude again. Okay, Mohbad's family demands fresh probe, bars wife from using surname. PDP insists on Ibadan Convention amid court orders. As a matter of fact, these are the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, thank you, Ramsey. And then, of course, we'll now take you to the Nigerian Tribune, from where we have one here. Top left corner, Tinubu approves construction of Ituwure Aromoko Ado-Ekiti Aramoko Ijero Ifaki roads. Sounds like quite a long stretch of roads there. Okpebholo hails Edo rebirth, results international transformational achievements across key sectors. Nigerian stocks rebound as blue chip rally lifts markets by 2.5 trillion naira. And then the big one here tells us Damagun-led NWC affirms Saturday's convention, blames APC for PDP crisis. Alleges plot for one-party states. Convention will go as scheduled on Saturday. Committee court extends interim order. Editors Conference, media seek tax reliefs, low-interest loans. Tinubu pleas for journalism practiced with sense of national duty. Makinde making Ibadan livable, Obasanjo says at inauguration of mega bus terminal. Governor says circular road will become Oyo State's economic backbone. Senators clash over delineation of words in Warri by INEC. I'm tired of moving motions without results. Benue lawmaker laments rising herders killings. And that can be quite frustrating, especially when you look at what is happening in Benue and other states across that region. But it won't stop us from going ahead with our fight to ensure that insecurity ends in this country as quickly as possible. All right, read up those details from the Nigerian Tribune today as Ramsey walks us through this day newspaper.
All right, let's see what this day have for us this beautiful day. On this day newspaper this morning, we have a couple of headlines. Above the nameplate, IHS Holding Limited Chairman Sam Darwish credits Nigeria for strong Q3 earnings. This one says PDP and COC, that's the kicker of that story. Our national convention will go on as scheduled on Saturday. Detail on page 9. Okay, Tinubu to editors. Criticize government policies, but don't compromise national unity. That's tick there. Some writers to that story identify irresponsible reporting, misinformation, antidotes to democratic stability. This one says Uzodinma Idris tax editors to safeguard elections, rebuild public trust ahead of 2027 polls. One Media against narratives that promote distrust, polarization. Nigeria must protect, amend economic stability, says Obiagbena. NGE seeks tax relief, low interest loans to rescue distressed media sector. That's beautiful. All right. I also have this headline which says checkmating U.S.-China's dominance in Africa and around the world. All right. I think those are the headlines from this day newspaper this morning. Let's move to the next point of call.
All right, thank you, Ramsey. Incidentally, this will be our last, and that is the Guardian newspaper for you. We'll begin with, well, 3 headlines just immediately beneath the nameplate. House probes 2 trillion naira usage by DFIs, 20 trillion naira abandoned projects. Nigeria records 566,300 leaked accounts amid 90.6 million global breaches. Quite a huge number there. Nigerian presidents since 1999 breach constitution. REC alleges that's a Resident Electoral Commission now for the Independent National Electoral Commission. That sounds like someone not trying to be politically correct. NGE insists on free press as Tinubu urges fairness, pledges recovery on page 6. Kanu prays appeal court to stop terrorism charge ruling. Minister SAN differ on Wike's confrontation with military. FG outlaws mother tongue policy, restates English as a language of instruction. Finally, presidency denies Trump effect on NGX sell-offs as Khan seeks end to genocide. All right, those are your headlines from the papers today. I would like to remind you that, as always, Global Television, as a media outlet, or the team here on Global Television, does not in any way contribute to these headlines or their details. All we do for you is bring you the headlines exactly as published by their respective publishers. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll put our first conversation on the road for you. Do stay with us.